Now it's not playing.
You're just a goddamn train wreck.
It's because I think I need to do that. Let's try that one more time. It's still not playing. The fuck? That's okay. I'll queue it up manually then. Just fuck it. Fuck this bullshit. I don't know what's going on.
I have no idea.
Oh my god. And I fucked that up, so now you're back to echoing like crazy. I'm just gonna keep that off. We're not getting any desktop audio this episode. You just pretend. Right. I'll tell you what. Just pretend we queued the intro music. So welcome to the Dicking Around podcast. Sorry about the bullshit in the beginning. I don't know what the fuck. OBS Streamlabs. The OBS Streamlabs and I just do not get along. Like every single time I bring it up, the settings are changed from where I had it originally. And every single time I fuck with it, like it just like none of the same shit that I do works every other time. And like I just don't understand why I have such a difficulty like stream to stream. But anyway.
Anyway,
welcome to the Dicking Around podcast. I'm your host, Philbo. That's my co-host Josh over there.
And, I'm the main host.
We're both main hosts. Don't flip this bullshit on me.
All right.
The charade has ended. Your reign of over the right coin territory has come to an end.
By the way, I see the right coin's holding steady at $3. So
get yours now while you can, ladies and gentlemen.
It's at www. I'm not.
ThirdReich.com.
Hitler was actually a kind of cool guy.com.
Oh my god. All right, stop right there and let's start talking about normal shit. Yeah, we're trying to get canceled. So I hope everybody's aware of that.
Oh, we will get canceled soon.
Oh, I hope so.
Anyway, I'm thirsty. Let's kick that shit off, bro.
What are we
My fucking tequila of the week.
Is that what we're kicking off?
Yeah. I'm gonna need a little help.
It's almost like we do it every week. 3, 2, 1. Olay! Oh fucking
all right.
Walk us through it.
Fucking lay. So Thundercat was in charge of this one. So we're going with the world-renowned Patron. Shout out to all the rap artists of the early 2000s. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Akon, T-Pain, T.I.
Young Jeezy.
Hey, Kanye West probably said something about Patron.
Jay-Z.
Who's that really cool guy that we both like? You like him more than I do. Lil Wayne.
Jelly Roll.
Who the fuck is Jelly Roll? Now you're just naming candy companies or something.
Oh no, you're gonna piss Mater off now.
Swiss Roll?
Jelly Roll?
No, I know his brother Swiss Roll though. He's pretty good.
Oh. No, Jelly Roll. He did an album with Lil White, and he's actually pretty big now.
Who the you're just naming shit that I don't. It doesn't even come across.
I forgot to take the plastic on this fucking thing. I'm about to burn it off with a lighter. Shit's about to get real.
Burn it off with a flamethrower. With the podcast flamethrower,
which I did want to bring up at some point. Hang on.
All right, go through your tequila first.
We got a cork pop. Oh, that was weak. Ooh, Patron. I expected better. All right, so we're going at least half tequila. If you don't go half tequila, you're on the wrong podcast. You're looking for dicking around with Philbo and Dildo. This week, as you know, we are now sponsored by the Dollar Tree. I never knew what a national treasure that fucking place was.
Officially sponsored. Hashtag sponsored. Hashtag ad.
These things are like $3 fucking at the convenience store, and they're $1.25 a piece there. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that makes me want to hit up the Dollar Tree because I have to drink one of these before every podcast.
Dude, we never went to the Dollar Tree, and I'll tell you why. Because
it's trash.
Yeah, basically. All right,
let's
cheers,
get to
everybody.
The first.
Yeah, let's. We threw a little Rockstar in there since I'm now sponsored by $1.25 Rockstar. It's on tap. The shit's flowing like milk and honey.
It's the manna from the chosen land.
Cheers out there. Cheers, Thundercat. Fuck yeah. Cheers, all the followers, all the beautiful people, all the especially our subscribers, the ugly subscribers. We won't mention you specifically, but you know who you are.
You ugly bastards.
And to this and this beautiful bastard over here with the 5 head and the Monster Energy drink. It's gonna be a good episode, y'all.
That's how we do it in this bitch. Cheers. I drank the rest of my spit out of the Monster Energy.
So
we're good to go.
So yeah, we recently, so like when I was growing up, my Mima used to take me and my cousin out, and like we'd go out and go to the Dollar Tree. We go to all these or not Dollar Tree, but like Dollar General. And I just remember the older I got, the more I realized I was like, there's not really anything good here. No real name brand shit. And the dollar store, Dollar General, they're not really like that big of a discount. And it's just kind of like a shitty little place where shitty people go because they haven't figured out the supermarket next door sells shit for almost the same price. And it's kind of like you can get everything in one stop.
Well, that's the thing. Like, why the fuck does Dollar General even exist? It's basically you're basically paying like CVS prices except at a store. Like, yeah, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, it is a CVS except for you can't get your pharmaceutical needs taken care of.
Except that it's completely useless.
Right. So the one thing I will say that like the Dollar General has over the Dollar Tree is their toy selection is a lot better. So when we're decking out for our Ninja podcast, then it's definitely gonna have to be Dollar General. Sorry, Dollar Tree, still repping you. But anyway, I just remember like we went to a shitty one in Savannah, and I remember Thundercat like couldn't wait to get me out of there because I just followed her around the whole time. Like for 45 minutes, I was like, "Look, this is only $1." Like, look, this is only $1.
Wait,
can you believe that's $1?
I think we need to overanalyze your speech here because to say that there's a shitty Dollar General or Dollar Tree in Savannah is definitely an oxymoron because all of them I've never stepped foot in one of them. I can tell you right now they're all shitty. In Savannah specifically. I don't know about there might be a nice one somewhere, but I can tell you right now they're all trash.
So what Savannah. I'm trying to get at is somehow I was coerced after getting my tux fitted for your wedding the other day. We just happened to pull into like this little shopping center and they had a Dollar Tree. And I was coerced somehow into going into the Dollar Tree, which I just, I figured I was just going to follow her around once again and just say, "Hey, look, this is $1. Hey, look, can you believe this is $1?" Like, I'd be like,
I can't believe it's not $1.
No, I'd be like 3 end caps over holding like a package with one AAA battery. Like, can you believe it's $1? Like
one AAA, like one watch battery or like D battery because they get really specific.
No, dude, but that's what they do though. Like, so like everything's like either a smaller version of whatever it should be, or it's just a way smaller package of what it should be.
Right.
So like if you're getting robbed by going to the fucking Winn-Dixie and buying a 4-pack of AAA batteries because you're going to pay $5 for those.
I don't know how many Winn-Dixies are left. You might be getting robbed because you're going to what you think is a Winn-Dixie.
Right. No, they do still exist. I think it's only in like Alabama.
I'm gonna look this up. Keep talking. I'm curious now.
Or Mississippi. It's the deep south. It's wherever they're from.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it's the deep south. Like they're the kind of south where they'll chase you out.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go in there and I'm just perusing, like, I was threatened in different forms of death and murder that I couldn't be on the same aisle as her. So I was just wandering around as I do. And then I went over the food aisle and I was like, okay, so all this candy's legit. Like the candy that costs like $2 everywhere else is like $1.25 here. And I was like, okay, that's pretty good. And then I make it down to the energy drinks and I was like, holy fuck, these are name brand energy drinks. And I was like, there's no way these are $1.25. And then
hold on a second. Hold on. Keep telling your story, but is Winn-Dixie making a comeback? Because I'm seeing it all over the fucking place, and that doesn't make any sense.
Might be.
All right, keep going. We'll talk about that.
I just know the Winn-Dixie in my hometown was turned into a charter school, so I don't know.
A charter school?
Yeah, that's where two of my stepkids graduated from a Winn-Dixie.
That's hilarious. I love that. Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about this in a minute.
I thought it was pretty funny too. But
that's fucking hilarious.
So I figure out they have rock stars, they have monsters, they have full throttles, and they're not the teeny tiny little like discount cans, they're the big cans. And I was like, there's no way. So I told Monica I was afraid to talk to the people that work at Dollar Tree, so I made her go ask if they were $1.25. And uh, come to find out, they're all $1.25. So I just grabbed the whole fucking 24 rack of them, toted them up there. But I was like, $30, like to buy all that. Okay, so a convenience store is a ripoff anyway. We should all know that by now. Like by the time you get to the age of like 22, you should understand that everything in a convenience store is just insanely marked up.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
but even, I mean, you go to an Ingles or a Food Lion, you go down the soda aisle, and they have the little 4 packs and the 12 packs of energy drinks. They're not insane, but they're still expensive. But then you look on Amazon, like for a while I was buying like cases of Red Bull on Amazon, and it's pretty good. You're still
Right.
gonna pay like $2 a can for the little 6-ounce cans. But nothing, I've never seen anything like it at this price. And then I realized, like, just that little area, like everything else is just garbage. Like, just buy me the goddamn flamethrower from Palmetto State Armory, and I'll burn everything in there, and they'll only have to spend $100 to restock. Like, it's just all garbage. But like this little area, it's all the energy drinks, all of the little like the Mexican food accessories, like the taco kits are $1 that come with fucking everything, like all of their seasonings. But they have the good seasonings, like not the McCormick shit, but like the actual fucking Lowry's like seasoning marinade packets for $1.25 that you spend like $5 on at the grocery store. I'm like, there's no way all this shit's $1.25. Thundercat, go ask.
Thundercat, roll out.
Yeah, for real.
You're just a player.
To find out, everything in the fucking store that's not in the middle aisle. The middle aisle is where they have like the expensive toys, the big like kitchenwares, like the pots and pans, and those are like 3 and 4. Like nothing's over $5. But if it's not on like aisle 3 and 4, then everything else in the entire store is $1.25. So just going off that, literally, now I understand how people like they actually make money at these little flea markets, opening up these little grocery store things, is they just go rob the Dollar Tree and then sell everything for $1.50 and then buy a carton of cigarettes, and that's their week.
Right.
Anyway, I'm just saying, as far as like the pricing on energy drinks go, if you go straight convenience store, you're getting robbed anyway. But like even Amazon prices is still a little pricey, but if you like Rockstar like I do, that's like, I mean, that's a heavenly light shining down on me.
Yeah,
like,
no shit, dude.
And dude, it's right across the street from the Papa's and Beer, so I can literally walk there.
How did I know? Like, as soon as you said it's right across the street from, the very first thing that popped in my head was he's gonna say Papa's and Beer. Like, I don't know why.
Obviously, the only landmark that you know in the town I live is the Papa's and Beer.
But it's such a great landmark.
It is. And the funny thing is, pretty much everything in Dallas is like you can stand like outside, like out front of Papa's and Beer, and just like hurl a golf ball, and you can hit pretty much anything you want to go to in Dallas.
The Papa's and Beer is basically the mecca of Dallas, North Carolina.
It really is.
So yeah, that's fucking. I honestly, I gotta go check it out. I haven't been to a Dollar Tree since I was like 10 years old, maybe a little bit older than that. I don't know. I haven't been to one in a long ass time.
I'm telling you, I wrote it off for a long time, and for good reason. Like I said, most of the shit in there is like, as the French would say, le garbage. But
is that what the French say?
Oui, oui, le garbage. Dollar Tree.
What?
Okay. Hang on, I must take a nap and then go to Dollar Tree.
We're gonna unpack that later, but you just keep going.
Le garbage.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
It's not a pancake; it's a crepe.
What? Okay. Anyway, but yeah, no, it's honestly, and it's interesting you say the Dollar General has better toys. I don't know how it's changed in the last 15 fucking years. That might be the case, but I remember Dollar Tree like having some pretty solid toys. And actually, there's a Cat Williams joke specifically about that, with like the dollar store having like really like he'd be like, I could buy you like 2 video games for $100, or I could buy you 100 fucking toys.
Or I could buy you a whole Dollar General.
Right, exactly. Which honestly, like as a kid, Like that would be pretty badass if your parents just come home with like 100 toys one day. Like that would be
no
fucking
shit.
insane.
And well, I mean, so that takes me back to my theory. Like when my son was real small, obviously it got vetoed and we didn't do it. But my idea was so
Throw them off a cliff.
No. Look, they're not actually creating memories until they're like 4 years old, maybe even 5.
Which is why when people bring their fucking baby to Disney World, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But sorry.
So look, what we do is this was almost in the era of like mainstream digital photography. Like we could take pictures on our cell phones, even though they were the little flip Nokias. Like we hadn't made it quite to the razors yet.
The pixels were 40 by 20, but yeah, you could take a picture.
No, they were terrible. But no, if you looked hard enough, you could tell what was going on.
Right.
But no, my idea was, look, until he turns 5, look, let's just go to fucking Dollar Tree and buy a shit ton of wrapping paper. Then let's take him to Toys R Us, and then let's just fucking sit him in the aisle, and anything that he would have wanted at that age, we put next to him and just keep tearing up wrapping paper and just throw it next to him and be like, oh my God, look at all this shit we got for you at your birthday. Like show it to him when he's older. Like you used to have the best birthday parties. You're so spoiled. Like, because you don't need anything. When you're 3 years old, you don't need anything. All you do is fucking chew on shit and then let the dog get it.
I totally agree. And I guess like it's different because like I guess when at a point where you actually start talking and like when you're 3 years old, you can't form like fully functional sentences. Like I guess you probably can to some degree.
You can understand what's going on, but you're not you're not making long-term memories.
Exactly. You haven't woken up to the universe yet. That doesn't really happen until 4 years old.
And I'm saying this just to save the parents money. I'm saying, look, you still pay the $50 and have a fucking have them a birthday party at Kate's skating rink so everybody else gives them gifts and they get a slice of pizza and a fucking piece of cake.
Right.
But you don't spend hundreds of dollars on gifts that they don't give a fuck about and they're never going to really care about.
Never remember. Well, they'll never play with after the age of 4. Like,
and it's only pictures that they'll remember that they got anything, and you won't remember 10 years later what you fucking got.
Right. And that's the thing too. Even once you start forming memories at let's just say age 4 and 5, like you still only remember like less than 0.5% of the shit that's going on at that age. So like it's still very, very selective when you're that young. And,
like my idea was like literally look, just tear up $2 worth of wrapping paper in a Toys R Us and take pictures of them with the fucking toys. And then we take the $200 that we would have spent and just buy a couple fucking bonds that mature when they turn 18.
Right. Exactly.
It makes sense.
Look, but this is the problem is that it's just women.
Is that women have ran the world for the last 20 years? Yeah.
For the last like 75 years. And it's not even that.
I mean, go that far.
It's obviously there's a sentimental value and all that bullshit, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. Save the sentimental value for when they can actually remember shit. And that goes back to my Disney World thing is why the fuck are you bringing like a 4, even a 4 and under? What the kid's not going to remember it. Half the time he's going to be crying at the oversized.
They can't go on any fucking rides.
Exactly, they can ride the shitty rides that nobody wants to fucking ride. Although there is apparently it's like a thing now with millennials that everybody wants to fucking ride like the Peter Pan and the Magic Carpet.
It's going to make your day bad, and they're not going to remember it. You're going to spend a shit ton of money. Like, look, just start a money fire in the driveway. It's the same thing. At least that way. You'll look cool.
It takes you'll look cool, yeah. Take some bonfire. Actually, go to Dollar Tree and buy a bunch of fake money, and then start a money fire. and then you can imagine how much money you would have wasted on.
Go to your local copy shop and just copy a bunch of $20 bills.
Yeah, there you go. And you can visualize how much money you're going to be wasting.
Because that's
before
not
you
illegal
actually
at all.
do it.
Which, by the way, I just realized
is it not? I think you actually can, as long as you do it for like educational purposes or something.
But you cannot do it. So that's what I was about to say. For the last like 10 years, since we're in the digital age now, any printer that's been made in the last 10, 15 years, they have this recognition software in them. So if it's a United States bill, it's just a black strip.
But what if it's like Canadian money? Accept it.
That's basically monopoly money anyway. So.
It's plastic, right? It still has the queen and the king on it.
It's only worth like 63 Reich cents. So
Oh my god. All right. So anyway, fucking yeah. But it's like it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense, but at the same time like it's also kind of dumb because if you're getting like the $200 copier, like you can somehow get the right paper that dollars are printed on and it's still like you still won't be able to counterfeit it properly. Like it
So you
doesn't
can
matter.
look. There's ways to do it. I mean, I've had buddies
I've
that
looked
like
into it myself.
listen. I ran with a crazy group of fucking people in high school,
Right.
and a lot of them are intelligent. One of them ended up on like an NSA watch list. Um, like literally had the floral van sitting out in front of their house for 2 months.
Jesus
Like
Christ.
and that was just because they were actually a chemistry major at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and they became like a TA, and or what do they call them? I guess a TA, or like the
Teacher's
head
assistant?
student. Yeah,
RA, but that's for the dorms.
not an RA, but like a
Right.
TA where you're like the ass kiss of the whole class for the professor and all that shit.
Right. Well, you
Um,
basically grade papers so the professor can just fuck around and not do anything.
right, can go after the co-eds.
Right.
Um,
Exactly.
but anyway, he became like the TA in his chemistry lab, one of his chemistry labs, and so that gave him the like basically an unlimited list of shit he could order. So he was ordering concoctions to make like crazy fucking like bombs and shit like that,
Jesus
just
Christ.
just to see if he said because I actually talked to him after this happened. He got in a lot of fucking trouble, bro. Like
Well, no
he, no,
shit.
I mean, he was expelled from school.
Oh my god.
He was expelled from school. He was actually put on house arrest for like 2 months. Like I'm saying,
Wow.
like if they had just a shred of evidence that he was trying to combine these things, like he was going straight to Gitmo. Like
Jesus Christ.
he was gonna go eat a cock meat sandwich in Cuba.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
it was bad, but anyway, yeah, no, I hung out with some interesting folks growing up. But there was one that was really for some reason interested in like if you could actually make passable counterfeits that not only would pass the pen test but would also like pass the scan test, which I don't know if you know like how to tell counterfeits now, but they put all this black light shit on it. They put all the watermarks inside.
Right.
Like it's pretty insane. So
Right.
like for that kind of stuff, um you can't like do what they do and like wash $1 bills and turn them into hundreds because they won't pass that test. They'll pass the pen test, but when you
Right.
put them under the black light, they'll show the wrong ribbon.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, no, there's definitely like you you definitely only need like three pieces of equipment, and they sell that shit in bulk in other countries because most countries actually use the same like type of fibrous material to make their currency. In the
Right.
United States, they lock that shit down, but Guatemala don't give a fuck. And nobody's trying to counterfeit the Guatemalan whatever the fuck.
Right, exactly.
It's like it's not you lose money counterfeiting
Right.
that.
Exactly.
Anyway, just throwing that out there. I've got a guy for almost every situation. So if you find yourself jammed up, just hit me up.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that. I can you get us some ninja equipment for the show?
I mean, dude, I live an eighth of a mile from a flea market. I can get real
Right.
ninja shit.
Well, real hillbilly ninja shit. It's not real ninja shit.
Right.
Yeah,
No,
like the
but it looks real.
well, and that kind of reminds me, so I think maybe we had mentioned it too at some point. Fucking there's that store in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, which is like where Pigeon Forge is and Dollywood and all that. There's
Yeah, I
that
know the area.
Yeah, there's that store in Gatlinburg. It's apparently the largest knife store in the world. And
Mm.
I've been in there once, and it's kind of cool to see. Don't get me wrong, but it literally like half the store is just like it's like it just kind of reminds me of being in like seeing that shit like in the vape store when you're like 12 years old for some like you see like a throwing star in like the smoke shop for the first time and you're like, oh, this is cool. What is this doing here? Like half that store kind of reminded me of
Yeah.
that. The other half was actually pretty cool shit, but I don't know, like, why is that? Like, it's like the smoke shop that also like, and it's also like places where you would buy airsoft guns, like, and
well,
and like really shitty.
So right down the road, I don't know if you remember, but like when you were here, when we were so fucking hungover, we went and got breakfast.
Is it next to the Papa's and beer?
No. So you have no idea. But
I remember that place. Yeah.
No, it's down the other way, but it's next to this really annoying turnoff. But it takes us to Stanley, which is where we had that breakfast.
Right.
But there's a tiny little strip mall next to it, and we were driving the other day by it, and I just noticed there's a CBD oil dispensary there. But like in one, because they're all shady, so like that's where they sell all the vape shit.
And why are they? Why are they so fucking shady?
I don't know. Like
they don't have to be.
Like loose cigarettes and throwing stars. Like
what is the point of that? Why do they have to be so shady?
In their case, next to like the 3-foot tall glass bongs are like throwing stars and fucking brass knuckles.
Exactly. It's like why?
What? This is the hoodlum store. Like if you want to be a Trump, if you want to be an issue as a 9th grader, go to that fucking store.
If you want to be an extra in some really shitty like TV drama where people are supposed to be in the ghetto, get your supplies here. Film. Playing Seth Rogen.
Right. So but anyway, so half of it's got the showcase with the bongs and the CBD lit up green. Right. And then the other half, the exact same store, but the other like window showcase just says guns and ammo, and it's got like assault rifles and magazines and shit.
Okay, well that's cool.
I was like, yeah. So that's Dallas in a nutshell. So we got a pretty good Mexican restaurant, and you can get stoned and shoot shit.
I mean, that sounds like a great time. What's funny to me there, though, is like the amount of different licenses they need for that. Because to be a licensed firearms dealer, you have to jump through so many hoops. So they were just like, "Fuck it, we're just gonna do it all. Like we're gonna pay $14 million before we ever make a penny back."
But see, the difference is that's on a federal level. But like with the CBD shit, like in the state it's in the state, like in the state of legislation it's not really legal. It's kind of one of those things where it's decriminalized, but like don't go too crazy. So you're risking federal charges, it seems. Like if you just step foot on the wrong side of the store with the wrong item, I don't know.
Right, but I mean, sure, but it's like one of those. It's like, but the FBI doesn't arrest people in like Colorado and like it's like legal in like 21 states now, which is the crazy thing.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're not really worried about the federal charges until they kick those on later.
Right. Well, just don't fucking murder somebody.
So the CBD shit, that's something like you can't really get past in the state because nobody wants to touch it because it's so fucking polarized for some reason.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's the fucking South too. Like there's so like the same bullshit is going on in Georgia, not just with CBD, but gambling is a great example. Like Atlanta's by far the largest city in the Southeast. Not a lot of people include. Well, I guess I don't. Maybe Miami's bigger. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Like excluding Florida, Atlanta is by far the biggest city in the Southeast, and we always like every year it comes up. We want to put in some casinos right by where basically where Atlanta Motor Speedway is, and every year the Southern Baptists get up on the state Senate floor and they go, "Not in my state, no sir, no sir, Billy." And it took us. We were like one of the last states to legalize like the medical, not even medical marijuana, but like the CBD oil, where it will like those kids that were having like 500 seizures a day, and that's not an exaggeration. Right. And now they only have like 2. And it's like that was like so fucking common sense, like that that parents had to break the law to go and get that shit. Like, are you kidding me? So yeah,
like people with like extreme like brain trauma and extreme emotional trauma, like they can actually take small doses of CBD and it doesn't get them high at all. No. What it does is it just fucking turns the neurons down a little bit so they don't fucking freak out and choke a chihuahua at fucking Bilo.
Right. So they're not living at 120 fucking, decibels their entire fucking existence. Right.
And that's like literally it does nothing for them except for keep you safe.
Right, exactly.
And people are so upset about that.
I know. And I mean, we've come a long way in general, especially as a society overall in the country.
I mean,
over the last 10
meanwhile, I
years.
mean, they're all fucking hypocrites, dude. I was in the fucking. I mean, not everybody, but the
No,
majority of these
just say
fucking
it. All the
people are. It's like,
politicians are no. All
oh,
politicians are
the
hypocrites. We
politicians
can
are for
paint a
sure, but
wide
I'm saying
brush.
all the goddamn look, the people that'll fucking get up there on Sunday and condemn you for whatever, like preach against this or
Right.
say this or that in Sunday school are the same. The old joke, because I'm a Southern Baptist, the old joke was the difference between a Southern Baptist and a Presbyterian is a Presbyterian will bring a cooler of 6 beers when he's fishing,
Right.
but to get to the Baptist beer, you got to go to the garage. Like they're
Right.
all drinking. That's I mean that's pretty much a staple across any type of Protestantism. They're drinking,
And it's
and
especially in the Southeast, because a lot of the Southern Baptists are from Irish Scottish descent, and I mean, look, historically speaking, those people do nothing but drink, because it was either drink your worries away or get oppressed by the British, and they took that shit over here when they came. So
right, but it's just it all lies in the hypocrisy of we can't actually let people make their own decisions. Like, look,
right.
I don't care if you wear your seatbelt. The government does because they can fine you $200.
Right.
That's the only reason they care about it. Like the only reason why this fucking person is on TV talking about why CBD oil is going to be bad or why not to do this or that is because somebody is paying them a large amount of money because it's part of their agenda. And just like Max said
Right.
on Always Sunny, I'm an American. I'm dug in. I'm not going to change my mind. It's too late for all that. So we're just going to have to figure it out from here, aren't we?
Right, and it's definitely like it comes out of special interest money, and a lot of that is tied up with the traditional, basically what we call like evangelicals. Excuse me, Jesus Christ. In the country in general, not just in the South, but in
Right.
the country.
Which, I mean, the evangelicals and especially the mega churches, don't get me started. Because, wait, did you see the new announcement, the giant fucking announcement that Joel Osteen, the mega pastor from
Yeah, the
Houston,
piece of shit guy.
the one that wouldn't let any of the fucking the people that were like Hurricane Harvey just flooded everything, and he wouldn't let
Right.
anybody on the compound.
Right.
Like he could have literally housed like 20,000 people on the compound and wouldn't let
Right.
anybody pass the gates. He's just
Right.
sitting in there doing cocaine in his office. No, he made the announcement that in May he's going to do a giant service or like a weekend of services at Yankee Stadium featuring Kanye. Kanye's taking care of the music.
Dude, oh my god. I don't want to get into it because it's just I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it. I mean, look,
easy.
just look up here. I'm gonna do it for you. Here, let's go here real fast. Let me mute that just in case.
Oh, we're gonna go there.
We're gonna go there. Let's look up Joel Osteen's mansion. Let's just look at a quick image of that.
By the way, have you ever seen the Joel Osteen impersonator?
No, but that sounds hilarious.
So he looks just like Joel Osteen, and he's made all these videos. Like, he rented out a mansion, made all these videos like doing cocaine and fucking hookers and all this stuff. But he looks just like Joel Osteen.
So this is Joel Osteen's house. It's about 5.5 houses in one. If that gives you any indication that he may or may not be in this for personal gain. Oh, okay. So I guess I got this up too. I didn't mean to bring this up, but this is one of the possible stickers / emblems, whatever you want to call it, logos that we got from Jacob. It's pretty badass. I forgot I had this up in the background.
Shout out to Jay. You're the fucking man, bro.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. So sorry, let me come back here. But yeah, anyway, there's just enough said. I don't want to get into that bullshit because I don't want to talk. We've already dipped our toe like way too far.
That's enough. But no, listen, when you do get a chance, look up the Joel Osteen impersonator. He's infiltrated the church a couple times where like he goes in.
That's hilarious.
He looks that much like Joel. So he literally just goes in and he goes back into the clergy area and he's talking to people, and then he comes out and he's greeting everybody. But he'll say like snarky comments, like just slip something in there, like what? Wait, what? What did he just say? And then like one time he was there for like an hour before they were like, "That's not him."
Wait a second, that's not Joel.
Yeah, but it's fucking hilarious, bro. But
I think they kind of got the side by side here. I think it's
Yeah, pull that shit up because
This
it's
guy.
fucking hilarious. He
Joel
looks just
shows a
like
bit.
it.
Yeah, and trolls everyone. Yeah, that's.
Yes, he. It's
All right,
perfect.
I guess let's pull up the video real quick. I didn't plan on it,
It's
but let's do it.
it's perfect. Like he's literally going through the congregation taking pictures of people.
With 0 tickets or identification. Oh, dude, he looks so much like him. Look at that. That's crazy.
Driving a Hyundai, like Joel Osteen would be caught dead in a Hyundai.
Right, exactly. Hold on, I want to see what he says to this person here.
Okay. I'm the one doing it? No. Road less traveled by here? I still have
Hold
to
on.
pay even though I'm the one doing it?
No, you'll be good.
I love you.
Okay.
God bless. God bless you, ma'am. God bless you.
Oh my god, that's too funny.
I love you.
Dude, yeah, except he looks like Joel Osteen from 30 years ago.
Joel, it's God. Enjoy. I'll see you in there.
Did he say it's God?
Enjoy. I'll see
Or
you.
is it gold? Hold on. That's
God
hilarious.
bless you. It's Joel. It's God. Enjoy. I'll see you in there.
I don't know
bless
what
you.
he says. He says it's going or something.
All right, let's just go ahead and see if I can get
This is
directions
hilarious,
of the
though.
event. All right, here we go. God bless you. Joel Osteen. How are you? Where's Joel's entrance?
Where's Joel's entrance?
Thank you. God bless you. Right this way. God bless you. God bless you.
God bless you. God bless everywhere he goes.
God bless you, miss. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening. Doing well.
He says he wants. Hold on a second. He says he wants to take the letter.
Of course you can have a picture.
Joel wants a beer. Does he? Does Joel even drink? Does Joel even drink? Okay, well that's pretty fucking funny. But here's the other thing that I looked at earlier. So here's the map of all of the surviving Winn-Dixies, and I had no fucking clue that there were this many of them. Like,
Yeah.
there's like 70 in Alabama alone, and apparently
Yeah,
150.
I knew they were a big thing in Alabama, but I didn't know that they were rampant in Florida though.
Yeah, apparently Florida. Well, here's the crazy shit too. There's one like up here in. There's 2 in Ohio, and there's 1 in Michigan. Like randomly in the middle of
Well,
like where
that's
the
the
fuck?
thing because in the 80s they took over like the entire southeast and just started spreading north
Right.
and west.
Oh, and there's
And-
look, they're in California. I didn't even notice them. But there's 1 in Seattle, there's 1 in Oakland, there's 1 in Santa Clara, and then 1 in Tijuana. I guess that's probably San Diego. What's the border town? Is that Los Angeles? No, Los Angeles is up there. There's not 1 in Tijuana. There's no way. Oh yeah, that's north. That's definitely north of the Mexico border. It just says Tijuana like right under it. Was it San Juan? I
one in
forget what
Tijuana.
that would be so funny. That would be the trashiest fucking.
That's where they shave
Winn-Dixie.
the cocaine for you. It's like
Right.
slicing meat.
Oh, look, there's 1 in Key West apparently. That's interesting.
But
Anyway,
yeah,
so
I knew they started dying out. I don't remember exactly why, but I know Harris Teeter got real big, and then anyway, we're not gonna.
Harris
discuss
Teeter's,
that too
dude.
much.
Harris Teeter's the fucking shit though, and it got bought out. I think Kroger bought it out, right?
No,
And,
they were bought out by Lowe's Foods.
I'm pretty sure it was Kroger. Hold on.
Well, they turned our local Harris Teeter into a Lowe's Food, so
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's a Lowe's Foods.
Yeah, Kroger owns them. I don't, but I mean, they could have just turned that. They could have just turned that one into a Lowe's instead of a and whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
I always used to love Harris Teeter though.
Dude, I did too. Cause it's like it was kind of like a mix between a Whole Foods and like a Publix or something, where like they had a lot of like locally sourced food.
Well, it's like it's kind of like Ingles now, where it's like you have super gourmet shit and like fancy like thousands of options to make charcuterie and like fancy mustards and jams.
Ingles is not that great in Georgia, so I don't know. Maybe you guys get the
So-
fancy Ingles in North Carolina.
So here's the thing. So Dallas actually is the tale of 2 Ingles. So you have the Ingles near my house.
That's that
which-
country ass shit that doesn't make any sense.
well, it does because this is the good part of Dallas. And sorry, the other one's in Bessemer City. Sorry, Thundercat, don't chop my head off. But Bessemer City is basically an annex of Dallas. But yeah, so this one is fancy. You remember like the Island Kroger that had like the burrito shop, the pizza shop, the sandwich shop, all the charcuterie, like
Dude, the Island Kroger was the fucking burritos.
burritos, bro.
Dude, oh my god, those burritos
Here,
were bomb
round 2,
too.
cheers, everybody.
That's all I got. I need to get a drink.
But yeah, the burritos were like dude, if you have access to that, you'll never have to go to a Chipotle or a Moe's or anything like
well, slow down. Chipotle still. I mean, you worked. Maybe you're over Chipotle a little bit, but I still fucking love Chipotle. Chipotle is still better than that.
But when I get that food, there's certain items that I want that Chipotle doesn't have. So like,
yeah, fair enough.
Like a variation of more than 2 salsas and pickled jalapenos or jalapenos of any kind. Like
well, that's why like Willie. That's why I wish Willie's
ground beef. I mean, come on, how are you running a goddamn burrito spot with fucking no ground beef?
That's true, but that's why I wish like Willie's was better quality. Like it doesn't have to be as good as Chipotle as far as quality goes, but like it's just like it's basically like a bougie Moe's, and Moe's is such like trash these days. Like I just wish Willie's was like a little bit better, so that it could just deliver that extra like oomph in the burrito. You know what I'm saying? Like just a little, but it's missing out, man.
Well, I mean, but what we were talking about is the Island Kroger was fucking 10.
God, it was so fucking good. Where was the Island Kroger? But because nobody else knows what the fuck you're talking about.
It was on Wilmington Island in Savannah.
Yeah, Wilmington Island, which I guess that's technically its own township, right? Like that's not in the city of Savannah.
Yeah. So they're all Savannah addresses because back in I think the 80s they all went whatchamacallit, Whitmarsh, Wilmington, unincorporated. So Tybee incorporated itself, so it's its own entity.
Right.
And the other ones were just absorbed. So like they don't have their own like police force or like first responders. They lean on Savannah for that. So everything's a Savannah address.
Or I think it's the county, right? Something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So it's definitely county cops out there. You don't deal with Savannah cops out there.
Right.
But
I mean, you don't deal with Savannah cops in Savannah either, apparently.
Well, I mean, you don't deal. No, you deal with fucking Thunderbolt cops, though. I will tell you.
Oh my god, the Thunderbolt cops! I don't know if we've ever explained this to our listeners, but yeah,
I think Thunderbolt. In like episode 2 or 3 we did, but
we may have, yeah. But and that's not on the audio podcast. So real quick, the Thunderbolt is this tiny ass little fishing village that, like, historically, I think is like where like all the free black people used to live, or something like that. Just where all the it's just a really shitty area. Now it's kind of a nice little town.
For anybody that lives near me, it's basically the McAdenville of Savannah.
Right, so like 12 people in the
entire United States without all the Christmas lights. Yeah.
But no, it's this tiny little, like literally, it's like 5 square acres. Like, I mean, it's a little bit bigger than that. It's like maybe maybe like 2 square miles of town, and it's just this tiny little fucking thing, and it's literally just the entire town is like 15 houses, 2 retirement homes, and then the marina. And then
so that's not true. So you're downplaying a little bit, and let me correct you, just because there is, and it's not a marina, it's a yacht club, and
and I know because I'm a member, bitch.
So listen, this is the smallest like thing that I've ever seen like this, where there's a hard line straight through it. Like there's a hard line straight through it. So you've got this little like not great neighborhood where not much money is spread around, with probably a few hundred people living in it. And then you cross this little line and you have all these bougie little fucking shops. Like the place that they eventually moved, but Riverside Tattoo was there, like this artisan tattoo place where it's like $300 an hour to get your tattoos done. And this is not a place where Bubba's smoking a cigarette while he's tattooing mom on your arm.
It's $300 for the fucking consult, and then he can.
But that's also right next door to where all the retirees spend $40 a plate on their brunch every day. And then
Tubby's,
and then Tubby's is like you can hit a rock like and go to Tubby's, where it's this giant pavilion where they have outdoor music for all the white people in their 40s.
In their 40s? Then, people are retiring in their 40s now?
Those people are.
I guess you're right.
But then across the street, you just have all these mega yachts and a yacht club. It's fucking insane.
It's this weird ass, which is and you're right, because the crazy part about that is the Savannah part that's literally right across, what is it, the Island Freeway? I forget what it's called. Is it 80 Victory Drive or whatever? Right across the street from Thunderbolt. It's like some of the worst, most rundown fucking ghetto houses in the entire Savannah, like Midtown area.
Yeah, which fits just about any city, big or small. If you run into like where you have like block squares of streets and they're all named after states, you've made it to the ghetto.
Or like unfortunately, MLK.
If you make a left on North Carolina, then right on Alabama, and left on California, you're in the thick of it.
Jesus
anyway,
Christ.
the cops there are vicious, and
dude, they're crazy. They're fucking insane, is what they are. And there's only like 4 of them in the entire police force because they may have 3 squad cars.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can think is because it's so small and literally, I'd say probably like 70% of their residents are low income and aren't really paying taxes. They're more leaning on the system and the system's leaning on them. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
But then the other people are evading taxes. Like they have fucking their main bank accounts are in the Canary Islands. So
their shell corporations have shell corporations, which are also evading taxes.
Yeah, they got a guy for that.
Yeah, their guy has a guy for that.
They trade exclusively in Coin.
Jesus Christ!
If you keep up, but
oh my god,
the funny thing is they turned into this like speed / DUI trap.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's like, so you don't even have to know, because look, as anybody that knows me or knows me recently knows, you know, I drive a pretty fast car and I do have a fuzz buster, a radar detector. So I would just silence it on my drive home, like crossing the bridge, because it's gonna fucking light up, and like I'm gonna have to hear it for 5 minutes going through 2.5 minutes going through Thunderbolt, because I know they're sitting there right before you hit the bridge, and that's the place where the speed limit goes from 35 to 30, which is a goddamn ninja move, but it goes from 35 to 30 for like half of a mile.
Yeah, if even that long.
Yeah, and then, but you have all these tourists where like Victory Drive goes from 45, 35, 45, 35, 30, 35, like all this shit. So if you don't know the road and you don't know where the cops are on the road, they're probably going to get you. And especially if you're just a tourist and you didn't have the money to pay $400 a night for 2 rooms for your fucking family to stay on, you know, on Tybee for the week, and you're staying out in Pooler or in the bad part, like out or Gateway.
Why is Tybee so expensive? Like I hate to break it to Tybee, but it's really not that nice of a beach. Like I don't get how they get off on. Like it's not a bad area. It's a nice little area, but it's not like there's so many like small towns in Florida that are like right on the coast, where like especially on the Gulf side, where it's just white sand.
I mean, you got to think,
and,
dude. All these little places like Augusta, Macon, like all these places, you're not gonna make that drive, and it's a crazy drive to Myrtle Beach. It's a crazy drive to Jacksonville. It's a crazy drive anywhere.
But I don't, and maybe it's just because I had family in Florida, but like I feel like it's not, and I guess it's really more about the colleges, like Georgia and Georgia State, because Georgia and Athens and Georgia State and Statesboro, which is only like 45 minutes from Savannah, because I feel like even if you live in the Atlanta area, if you're not gonna stop in Savannah, like you're not gonna drive 4 hours, and you're gonna drive 6 hours and either go to Tampa or fucking Jacksonville or something, or north of Jacksonville.
Well, I think you hit the beach. I mean, look, it is. I mean, there's a lot of families that go out there, but I think you hit the nail on the head on that, because it's mainly like Georgia Southern during during the summer, because I didn't realize before I opened that Chipotle in Statesboro that Georgia Southern is like a main fucking university. Like at any point, it's got like 40,000. It's got like 40 to 50,000 students.
It's huge
on campus.
Like I think when I looked at going there, and I think at the time it had like maybe 25 to 30,000 students, and by the time I graduated college, it already had like 40. Like it's just so
but it's
big.
so, and it's growing, because like now they actually have like Division I sports programs, and like,
and the town's bigger than a square mile.
Division I AA, but this is not like a small university. This thing's fucking big, bro.
No.
And no, that's what it is. It's just, you know, it's groups of college kids that are renting out these hotel rooms during the spring and summer, and you know they're bringing their own they're bringing sleeping bags and sleeping 10 to a room and shit.
Right, exactly. But, they're saying there's 3 staying there and there's about 14 between 2 cars.
That's how you can afford $289 a night in March.
Exactly.
Because Hotel Tybee is not that nice. It doesn't even have a fucking pool.
Dude, it's such like a weird, it's so fucking like 80s Florida, like rundown bullshit. It's got great parking though.
When I think it was the second year I lived in Savannah when we were living on Whitmarsh, and my parents, we told them they could stay with us, but we stayed in that small apartment. And, I kind of hinted, I was like, you might be more comfortable just getting a hotel,
Right.
and we'd be on top of each other. And I was like, you listen, money bags, why don't you get you a nice hotel? And so they stayed at Hotel Tybee because it prides itself as being the only beachfront hotel on Tybee.
Hold on, after all this, watch Hotel Tybee want to be our first sponsor. Right. We'll have to take this episode down.
Take it down.
Oh, I'll take it down. They'll be like, "Here's $5,000. Take the episode down." It's down, baby. It's down.
But no, but they were so like excited. They were like, "Oh no, it looks so nice." And I was like, yeah, "I've been there. Where are you staying?" And they had like one of the main suites on the main room with like a little balcony they could walk out.
Right.
I mean, it was nice, but they were like, "It doesn't even have a pool." I was like,
"Right,
yeah, I know." Like maybe you check the amenities next time. I don't know, but
maybe do your own goddamn research.
Right, I'm not your concierge.
How old are you?
Yeah. Which, by the way, I don't. Are you into the? You sprung a reference in my head. Are you a fan of the Broken Lizard group, like the?
Oh yeah, like Steve Zahn and or no, it's the oh god, it's the Super Troopers guys, right?
Yeah, Super Troopers, Beer Fest, Slam and Salmon.
I'm a very casual fan because they lean really heavy on like the toilet humor, and that's just never done it for me. But I like their other comedy outside of that. So yeah, I'm a casual fan.
So they have a true TV series right now. Well, two of them do. Heffernan, his name's Steve Heffernan, and Steve Lemmy and Heffernan. So basically, Favre, the big fat guy, and then the little the shorter guy with the black mustache.
Right.
They have you ever watched Tacoma FD?
No, but I've seen clips of it. That show's actually supposed to be pretty funny, though, isn't it?
So yeah, no, I've watched every episode, and they actually have an episode where they make a podcast. And like,
is there an episode of a TV show that you haven't watched? Like, that's really what we need to do is find out.
We can
TV
play
shows.
a game. We can play a game.
Like Jesus Christ, I'm so behind.
I find shit that I like and I hone in on it. So there's definitely like there's big like gaping categories of shit that I won't even go near.
Well, so you've definitely seen like The Bachelorette and like 90 Day Fiance.
No,
the shit that people actually talk about.
Right. The shit that other people watch. No.
The shit that we can use for content on our podcast? No, absolutely not.
But anyway, you just you kind of sprung a reference because they're sitting around and they're like, they're talking about the UFC and Stipe Miocic, right. and he's got a fight coming up, and the one guy's like, yeah, no, I'm going to go against you guys. I think Stipe is going to get his ass whooped. He's getting old. His form's going. He's going to get knocked out. And they mute the mics and go to commercials. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm being contrarian, bro. That's how you get followers. And then they're all like, well, I want to be contrarian too. And then the other guy's like, dude, I don't want to be contrarian. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, I'm just being contrarian. So they all come back on and they go like a 10-minute rant of how Stipe's a bitch and he's a bad father and he probably has like a homosexual relationship and like all this other shit. Like they really dig in on it. And then literally they upload the fucking podcast and like 30 minutes later, Stipe's PR lady comes in and is like, yeah, so basically in his off time, he likes to volunteer at local fire departments and he's chosen yours. And like, and they see he's like, oh, they have a podcast. I want to be on the podcast. He's like, yeah, we can take pictures. He's like, I'll shoot your followers to the moon, kids. Let's get on. He's all excited about it. He's like, and then one guy looks over. He's like, delete the last episode.
I love that shit.
Delete the last episode.
Fucking love that. That's hilarious.
But then eventually, his PR lady had already downloaded the last episode. So after they suck his dick on the fucking podcast, then he listens to it in the car and comes back and kicks the shit out of him. Because they were all hugging. He's like, you're my brothers in life and in the firehouse, like getting all cheesy and shit. And then he comes back and beats the fuck out of them because they're like hiding in the fire engine. Like, do you think if we all three team up, we can take him?
That's funny as fuck.
It was. Hey, listen, it's a good show, and I will warn you. You know, it does lean heavily towards toilet humor.
Right.
And you know, it stays within the archetypes of a typical sitcom. It just kind of takes it in their own way, you know.
The archetypes. That's that hillbilly speak coming out. You know, them archetypes I keep reading about in the newspaper.
I'll destroy you.
You've been hanging out with Mater too much, man.
God damn it. Yeah, I gotta every once in a while take a break from Mater, but
just so you could like relearn the English language for a minute.
Right, yeah. Learn how to enunciate.
Communicate effectively. But yeah, dude, it's funny I don't know. But yeah, anyway, the whole point of that conversation was to talk about the Island Kroger, and then we gave like 45 minutes of backstory to the Island Kroger. But yes, the Island Kroger, and it was just such a good. It was the best Kroger you've ever seen in your entire life. I don't care where you've seen a Kroger, this is the best one. And because like you could get your own, like they set up a burrito thing. Now they closed it down for some reason too. Like halfway, like 6 weeks after opening it, all of a sudden you couldn't do burritos anymore. Like I don't really get.
They brought it back.
They did. Okay.
It's because they were installing the thing next to it, which was like a make your own like personal pizza.
Jesus Christ. Why'd you have to move away? I just want to go back there.
I know, man.
I want to go back to Savannah just to go to the Island Kroger.
Right. Spend $100 on Milo's tea and get a $5 burrito from the Kroger.
I mean, I just call that a weekend.
Right.
But yeah, dude.
That Kroger helped me learn my lesson about Philbo, because anytime he came, we'd have to go to the Kroger every day to get him fucking Milo's. Yeah. So I just learned we got to buy him like 18 gallons at least. Yep.
And it was literally like 1 or 2 visits after that when we had the infamous pre-stocking in that first house he lived in Richmond Hill. I guess it was the only house he lived in Richmond Hill.
It wasn't in Richmond Hill, it was Savannah. But...
Oh, whatever. Well, very close to that area. But
it was right across the bridge.
Right.
Anywho, we're getting geographical again.
Anyway.
Very specific.
Well, we do have stories for today. Well, if we want to talk about that. So what do you want to do first? I don't know. Just throw something out there. I also still have a couple of ones hanging out from weeks prior.
So I definitely want to get to the Buzz Aldrin thing.
Yeah, I figured you would say that. Let's talk about good old Buzzy. So this is okay. So full disclosure, yes, this is an old video of Buzz. But there's basically this. I mean, but first of all, we're a fighting podcast, so we had to talk about this at some point. If we're doing it best of, internationally filmed fights, this is definitely going to make some sort of a list. Now the background to this is there's basically this guy. He's actually I think he's been on like Ancient Aliens, or he's been on like some weird programming like that. I don't know if it's exactly Ancient Aliens. Not that I want to, cover my bases and not talk down that extremely astute program. Right. But he's done something like that. So he's talked about how, the moon landings were faked. Yeah. No shit. He's a huge towel. Talked about like the moon landings are fake, and but like going beyond that, he's basically made it like one of his hobbies to follow around Buzz Aldrin and other surviving members of the Apollo missions who have actually been to the moon, and like berate them and try to get them to say that they haven't gone to the moon. So anyway, it's just a weird fucking thing. Now he starts following him around in this video here, and I know the audio is not the best. So he's saying like, hey, why don't you swear on the Bible that you walked on the moon? And Buzz won't do it because he's basically like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I'm not gonna deal with you, dude. And this isn't the first time he's ever run into him. And Josh, to your point, what also goes on in the video is like he got a room in this hotel. I think he says he got the penthouse.
Right. In the hotel. He's got the penthouse, so
which is like such a petty bullshit thing to say.
They can't keep him out of the hotel.
Right, because he's actually staying at this hotel, because he's like a fucking stalker and did his research. So he goes back up to Buzz and he's like, "Come on, dude, just admit it. You know, you didn't." Calling the kettle black, yeah. And then he says, "You're a coward and a liar and a thief." And then he gives him one right there.
And then the guy stands there, like,
and
thank God he
and he just keeps going. Oh, that felt good.
That's military training, buddy. Look.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and he's just still there.
He looks shocked. He's like, "Wait, did he just fucking feed me one?" Like, yeah, he did.
I think he kind of was into it a little bit too, because he kind of gets hit and he kind of sounds like he has a little mini orgasm at the same time.
So
but it's not even like a sigh of like depression. It's just, oh.
You also know that there is no court in the United States is going to convict Buzz Aldrin of assault.
Oh, right? Of course not. I mean,
there's no DA that would allow indictment for that.
Yeah, short of what's the classic saying? Like, just walking up in broad daylight on Fifth Avenue and shooting somebody. Like, he's not going to jail for anything. He can basically run the cocaine racket at the CIA, and they'd be like, "Oh, cool, man, just go do your thing."
So I fucking love this because look, here's another fighting PSA. Okay, so
write this down, kids. We'd actually need to make a list of these.
So here's another bit of advice because listen, I speak from personal experience, and so I'll run down a few of Buzz Aldrin. A lot of people think that he was just an astronaut that went to the moon. He is not just an astronaut that went to the moon.
Right.
What he did is, I mean, he was a lifetime Air Force fighter pilot.
Right.
And like
as almost every astronaut they've been in the Air Force or the Navy Air Force.
Yeah, he fought in Korea and Vietnam.
Right.
And I believe he has the Congressional Gold Medal. He has like 3 air commendations. He's got a crazy amount of like
he's
hardware.
Actually done some shit.
No, from combat.
Right.
And then I think he actually retired a brigadier general in the Air Force.
Oh wow.
Before he joined before he joined NASA. He reached the brigadier general level, I believe. That's like a 2-star,
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
He's a West Point graduate, and going through, there is something that I surpassed him in. Only one thing, but
was it wrestling trophies?
Well, no. Okay, so 2 things. But so he was a Boy Scout, but he only got to the rank of tenderfoot. Your boy Josh was a Scout first class. So suck on that, Buzz. But look,
maybe go tell him that. Maybe he'll punch you in the face too.
He might. I'm gonna.
God damn it! The one regret I have. Fuck the moon. The one regret I have was never making Eagle Scout. I wish I could go back and do that.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, he got me.
No,
he actually salutes me. He's like, he gives me the Scout salute and says, "Yes, sir."
And you're like, as you should. Carry on.
So anyway, so one thing that I learned growing up, because my father was a sergeant in the Army. He fought in Vietnam, and he had the hallway full of all of his plaques of all of his medals. He had like 2 air commendations, a bronze star, or 2 bronze stars, a silver star. Like he was pretty decorated. And there's certain things these men, because he's almost the same age as my dad.
Right.
No, I'm not. No, he's not. I'm sorry. He's much older than my dad.
I'm glad you're not almost the same age as your dad.
Sorry. No, what happens? No, I'm not. Anyway, look, that's the Patron speaking. I blame Thundercat.
Woo! All right, keep going. Thank you, Thundercat.
Anyway, I learned that there are certain things that you do not say to these men because they're just not built to put up with millennial bullshit or backsass.
Right.
You don't call them a liar ever. Even if they're telling you that your hamburger is blue.
Right.
You do not call them a liar. I don't care. Look, you say yes, sir, and you eat your blue burger. Okay?
Well, I think before he called him a liar, he called him a coward too, which I feel like is worse. Is way worse.
Right. So, I was getting to that. There's another thing that you do not call these these combat hardened gentlemen, because this isn't. Look, Korea was hardcore, but Vietnam was fucking hardcore as shit. And these fucking guys, look, I'm not taking anything away. I think any chance I get, I think every active and veteran, active service member and veteran I can, because I mean, I didn't get a chance to do it. I wanted to, but they're keeping us safe, and they go through shit. But at the same time, it wasn't quite as mapped out. Like, you don't quite have like a column of Abrams tanks and APCs and shit like that. It's literally some bet. Like, if you were like Buzz Aldrin, you were outnumbered 3-1 by the MiGs in Korea.
Right.
And like every day was a fucking death sentence if you were a fighter pilot. Right. And if you were on the ground, if you were, in the Army or the Marines, every day was a fucking death sentence, because they didn't form hard lines. They just hid in the jungle, waited for you to walk by, and fucking blew you up. Like, it's and most people couldn't handle that for 24 hours. These fucking guys were sent out for fucking 4 weeks at a time.
Right.
And
it does months and months rotations total. Yeah.
Right. And then, but at the same time, and especially in Vietnam, when they were sent back, they were not received well. Like, literally, they were not received as heroes. They were received like, they're discharged and their bus is taken to the airport or to a port or something, and they're literally just crowds of people throwing shit at them, calling them baby killers, and like they're being protested after they come back for fighting for the country. Was a fucking disgrace. But these they went through some shit. Like, the 70s weren't a great time to be a war veteran. But and then at some point Reagan got into office, and we reclaimed valor for veterans, and but these guys, like my dad, like they expect certain things out of you, and if you don't give that to them, they'll work with you. Like, they'll say, okay, don't say that to me ever again, and next time just say yes sir. And then the next time you say something, they fucking feed you one, or they pull out the goddamn frost cutlery knife that they've been fucking sharpening every evening for the last 13 years and just fucking go to town on you.
Right.
But I look, so here's the PSA. If there's someone, look, because everybody that's out there, you're not going to know if they're a veteran or not, because, a small minority of people walk around with their chest puffed out wearing USMC shit 20 years after the fact. But, respect people in general. But at the same time, if you know somebody was in the military and was high ranking and is a combat veteran, do not, I repeat, do not walk up within striking distance and call them a coward and or a liar.
Right.
Because they will feed you a standard. Words. Yeah, they will feed you a standard issue right cross. Like that comes date. I think that's day 13 in boot camp. They issue that to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But, no, tip of the cap and a salute to you, Mr. Aldrin. Thank you for feeding that fucking idiot a standardized right cross, because he deserves it. Even though, I know that had he been like 30, 40 years old, he probably wouldn't have stopped there. But considering his like 92-year-old bones turned to goop after he punched him, then we thank you for your sacrifice and your service, sir.
And it's interesting to me. I don't obviously like, I'd say probably the two biggest historical conspiracies are probably the JFK assassination, and the moon landing. And what I don't understand about the JFK one makes a lot of sense, because nobody really knows how that happened. So like I don't think there was a magic bullet or anything, but you'd have a hard time convincing me that, like, what was the guy that paid or that was connected to Oswald, or the guy that killed him, the Jack Ruby. You can't convince me that like Jack Ruby, like the Russians and or the CIA didn't all have something to do with it. Like, I'm not totally convinced they did, but we're still missing, and this is the other thing, we're still missing 4,000 fucking documents that they refused to declassify again back in like 2018, which is just bullshit. But anyway, we'll get to that later.
I mean, we pretty much know what happened though.
Right, exactly. Well, people saw it. It was filmed on TV.
Right.
But then again,
And
so
then
was the moon landing.
Everyone was there was no such thing as an NDA then, so they were just threatened with their lives.
Right.
And like there were 3 gunmen, one of which was Lee Harvey Oswald. He unknowingly was a part of it, thinking that he was going to be protected by the CIA. He was not. He was their scapegoat. And then their gunman to shut him the fuck up was Jack Ruby. And they dealt with him, I believe, within 24 hours after he shot him. So
yeah.
um,
Did he like he died in prison, right? Like they killed him in prison or something like that?
they killed him in jail like the next day. Like he never got to testify. He never got to give a statement.
Right.
He never got to say why he shot Lee Harvey Oswald. He walked up with a snub nose and shot him 4 times.
Yeah. Unknown
no,
fucking.
I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. I take that back. He was murdered as he was doing that. Like he was shot down as he was shooting.
Really? Oh, that's right. Because like the cops killed him or something, right?
Yeah, the cops killed him, or whoever had guns around killed him.
Right.
We're not going to say the cops. Whoever had guns around killed the fuck out of him, and that was that.
Right.
And now nobody knows what happened. And well, I guess we don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, that's something. But anyway, yeah. Well, and we could spend like 15 podcasts talking about that alone. But what's interesting about the moon landing is, and I get when people say like, oh, like the it was faked in a Hollywood studio. Okay, maybe it was. You can maybe make that argument. But there's 2 big pieces of evidence that fully like confirm the fact that it actually happened, that you can't dispute otherwise. First of all, the Soviet Union has the tracking information from that Apollo mission and all of subsequent Apollo missions. So, and it would have been so easy to be like, this is bullshit. You know, Stanley Kubrick is totally doing this in a basement in California. So, like, no, Americans are wrong. They could have told the whole world, and they didn't. So that doesn't make any sense. The second part of that is that they actually left a like super reflective surface on the moon that to this day you can bounce lasers off of back to Earth. And we know its exact geographic coordinates, which like we could not have figured out otherwise, except for actually going in there and putting it there so that it could do that. Right. So I just don't get that. Like I don't get how you just go through life.
you can say, look, and if you want my input on it, I think that honestly, I don't think it was as glamorous, and I don't think it. I think that they touched it up in a Hollywood studio. You feel me? Like I feel like the actual moonwalk wasn't the actual video that was released. I feel like it wasn't as glamorous or as out there. I also think the timeline was off from when they said it was.
Have you ever watched the video? Like it's not glamorous. They're just fucking, in fact, the camera like doesn't even look at them for like half the time. They're off doing their own moon things and the camera's just staring at the capsule or whatever.
Right, but then they fucking hit a golf ball and look, it's look, they churched it up a little bit, but what I'm saying is, look, they went to the moon and they were on the moon. Now, whatever you want to say after that, I don't really give a fuck, but they were on the moon. There's too much evidence that points to the fact that mission went to the moon.
Right.
And it was on the moon. But also, I mean, that's so close to all this other fucky shit that was going on. Like the CIA was just like they talk about the fucking Iron Curtain, but like they're literally the CIA controlled any information that anyone got during like that 15-year span. And like, I mean, you had the JFK assassination, you had a moon landing, you had the Bay of Pigs. That, I mean, people didn't basically know what happened in the Bay of Pigs until 20 years fucking later. And like, it was all this shit, and it was basically just the CIA. I mean, fucking Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover just built this goddamn smoke that covered the entire continent. And you understood what he wanted you to understand. So it's hard to say with any certainty, especially, you know, being born 25 years after the fact.
Right.
It's hard. And even if I was around then, I mean, fuck, if I wasn't in the CIA, I wouldn't know either. I just think it's one of those things where they would rather us talk about it now because they're doing their own next level shit now. So
yeah, that's 100% true.
Like, feel free to criticize the moon landings, you bunch of idiots, because you have no idea what's next.
Right. Because, well, you know, and I can't even get into it because it's too controversial.
Meanwhile, we're we're sending a spook in to impregnate the princess of Ecuador, and
the princess of Ecuador. Right.
And we're
So
we're training a guerrilla group in fucking Zimbabwe
right.
to actually, there's so much shit that goes into it.
Do you remember that episode of Archer where they're like supporting the Welsh terrorists? Because
also not one of my shows, but Welsh terrorists sound funny though.
I do these things where I watch like several seasons of a show, and I've done the same thing with Always Sunny. Like I watched up to like season 10 or 12 or something like that, and then I just haven't watched the rest of it. Same thing with Archer. I watched up to like season 4 or 5 or something, and now there's like
also
10.
Animation's not really my thing.
Well, I get that, and yeah, I didn't. That's one of the reasons why like I never really got into The Simpsons, and like I got into the Family Guy like way after like anybody had like long forgotten that it was funny at some point. So, but yeah, no, but there's an episode of Archer that like the CIA is like supporting Welsh terrorists because they're like, Great Britain always like has to have a reason like to why they need us, and it's a joke in the show. And obviously, to my knowledge, we've never done that in real life because that would be batshit crazy. But to that point, like we're not above doing that in Yemen. We're not above doing that in fucking Somalia. So yeah.
Well, you have to understand. Like my father was a ranger, but he trained with the Green Berets, right. And the Green Berets are literally like the they're the grunts for the CIA. Like
they're the international militia training force.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well too, man. But yeah,
hey buddy.
No, as far as, because he received training from the Green Berets, so literally what the Green Berets were doing is they're going around and they're training special forces on certain tactics and like special tactics that they should be using in a certain theater of war. Like certain things are different there. So here's how we can bend this rule, and here's how fucking savage you can be here, and here's how to take his eyeball out and feed it to him and keep him alive. Like the Green Berets are a special kind of monster, but they're also, I mean, the Green Berets they're responsible for some of the greatest things that we've ever done in war, and some of the most horrible failures we've ever had in war as well. Like the Bay of Pigs, for instance, the Green Berets are the ones that were training them.
Right. Well, the Bay of Pigs invasion failed because, so the crazy thing about the Bay of Pigs, first of all, was that they basically did it without telling Kennedy that they were planning it. And Kennedy even said no to it. And then like 8 months later, they're like, well, here, it's all put together, Mr. President, and it's too late to say no.
And then he
signed
off to say yes. And then they blamed him for the failure.
Right. And then, which was complete bullshit. And then the other side of it too was not just the fact that it was unsupported, which was the big CIA argument at the time. Like they wanted us to like McNamara.
Let me stop you there. For anybody out there that doesn't know what the Bay of Pigs is, the Bay of Pigs was in
it's the store down the street from us.
Yeah, no. It's the Piggly Bay of Pigs Wiggly.
It's the Piggly Wiggly Bay of Pigs.
So basically, it was the bright idea of the CIA in the early 60s to under the Kennedy administration, that we were going to take all these Cuban refugees that they were trying to send on American soil, and we were going to train them as an insurgent group. And that we were, without putting American boots on Cuba, we were going to use a few hundred of them to actually be insurgents and take over Cuba. And then what they didn't know is that the actual plan was we were trying to use them as martyrs, and we were going to frame them for murdering their own people and go and take Cuba over ourselves.
Right.
And,
sorry, go ahead.
What actually happened is they mistimed the whole thing, and they waited too long, and old Fidel figured it the fuck out.
Yeah, and like months in advance,
he figured it out, and he had so many people on the up and up that were literally just being fed information by moles in the CIA. So he knew the date, the time, the location, the number of people, the type of weaponry,
the blood type of the fucking insurgents. Yeah,
this
everything.
is like he didn't need a navy, he didn't need radar, sonar, or any of that. He just knew. So then, literally, they were all like in the Bay of Pigs, which is an area in Cuba. It's a bay in Cuba. they were all just fucking mercilessly slaughtered.
Right.
And he got out in front of the PR and went ahead and just smacked it on the United States. He's like, yeah, I knew this was coming. The United States trained all these Cuban refugees to send them back over here and try and kill all of us and have me assassinated. He's like, they're the assholes. And Russia's like, yeah, motherland!
And then the Cuban Missile Crisis happened 1 year later.
Right, and then they sent their entire navy with nuclear armaments to come and fucking embargo Cuba.
And I think my grandfather had a friend, my on my dad's side, my deceased grandfather.
This is the same one that beat up Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, same guy. He had a friend who was in the military, I think, at the time, or like somehow, I don't know, something like that. And he said he was in the Navy, and he said they actually sunk a Russian warship during the blockade, and everybody covered it up to prevent nuclear war, which is fucking crazy.
Including the Russians. I've heard that too.
Yeah, but
the
this
Russians
guy like
did not want that.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about.
Because literally the entire Russian Navy would have been destroyed instantly.
Oh, in a heartbeat. Yeah, and even back then, the Russian Navy was like playing catch up to like fucking Thailand.
Yeah,
as far as the Navy
this
goes.
is still when the White Fleet was still flexing nuts all over the globe.
Right,
and now you have literally like 78%, 70% at least of the White Fleet, the Great White Fleet, right in front of you. You're not gonna make it out. I mean, you might sink Florida, but that's about all you're gonna do.
Exactly. The trade-off
we might all be better for that.
Well, depending on what part of Florida you take out. Yeah. Right. But anyway, but the crazy thing was too that I didn't realize this until I did a lot of research later on too, was there was actually a pretty significant counter-revolutionary force in Cuba that lasted for years and years. But the problem is that Castro was just so fucking good at fighting them that they could never get their feet under them and like actually get something going. And that was that was also the point of the Bay of Pigs, was to start more like counter-revolutionary activity going on and like kind of get the people to rise up against Castro. But the problem is, it's like the same bullshit that we did in like Nicaragua. The people fucking wanted Castro. Like they didn't want anybody else. Like, and it's
correct
to an extent. And I'm not going to go into detail. Everybody do your own research.
Also, it's the same thing as like, but he rules with such a fucking iron hand that like, if there's no on the fence, there's no, hey, let's go to the commons or the square and talk about it. No, let's if you don't like what he said the last time, keep it to yourself. Eat your goddamn Cuban sandwich. Eat your fucking pork and pickles, and you just hang out over there because if anybody gets wind, everybody else is so scared they're gonna dime you the fuck out, and they're just gonna be like, no, it was him. It was him.
Right. Hey, and at the time, before they had lived under that brutal dictatorship, and it was all about nationalizing industries and giving land to peasants, everybody was all for it. And then as soon as Che Guevara just started fucking murdering people for absolutely no goddamn reason, then people.
I'm glad you mentioned his name because I was about to.
Right.
Like,
that guy was a fucking, like, as bad as Castro was, that guy was like 15 times worse.
That guy was way worse.
Yeah. That guy is literally like
everybody fucking idolizes him. That guy was a fucking murder towel.
And that guy. One of the most racist, homophobic, sexist people who's ever lived. And they got him on T-shirts like he's fucking Obama.
That guy was a murder towel. Fuck that guy.
No, that guy was absolutely fucking insane. Beyond belief.
That guy's like El Chapo level bad guy.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. 100%. I honestly, that's probably the only like real modern comparison. Him and that fucking that merchant of death guy that we gave back to Russia, like just pure evil, just fuck nuts.
Hey, what was his name? They called him they called him the merchant of death, right?
Yeah.
Like,
the Lord of War
movie. We'll trade him for Brittany Griner.
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to.
Yeah, she murders a rim like once a season.
She's dunked 5 times in her career.
Anyway,
and Che Guevara was dunking on people every night.
With an AK. He was while swimming in a pool of blood.
Yeah, literally.
Like oh my god, that guy. Fuck that guy.
Anyway, what a great podcast.
Anyway, all right. So we're running out of time, and we got to do the name of the episode's named after. We have to at least touch on it.
Right, 100%. No, I agree. Let's pull this up. I got two things for this. Well, we'll do the Reds thing real quick too, because that story's gonna get old quick, and
By
I
the
just
way,
think it's a funny story.
I'd prefer if we not show the actual video. I don't really want to go down the
No, the
nudity route.
video that I have is blurred out. It's just to show the cameraman doing his job, getting the tits,
Right.
which is hilarious.
There's definitely uncensored videos out there. And
Oh,
I'd rather
yeah.
not, because that will get us canceled.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're not showing that, kids. So don't worry. Just listen to us say fuck 97 times,
or just look it up on YouTube.
Right.
And they are pretty nice. I will say that. But
dude, it was funny. I was literally thinking, like, I hate to say it, but I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like, okay.
they're fake, but they did a good job on it.
So anyway, so Daniela Hemsley, this is at least her first televised fight. I don't know if this is professional, amateur, semi-pro. I don't know what the fuck level this is at. But she won her first fight at this level. We had a big discussion completely worthless discussion pre-show about if she had fought before or not, because it doesn't matter, because that's not the story. She wins the match, and then she gives everybody a look at the twins, the old hoo-haws, the old Tia and Tamaras.
The old sweater puppies. The sweater puppies were barking.
Absolutely. What's that? Oh shit! What's that? You remember that scene in Letterkenny where the girl with the absolute massive fucking badonkadonks keeps being like, "Do you guys want to suckle at my teats?" And then she pulls out like puppies or something like that.
Oh yeah.
That's literally what was going on.
That was one from like the Amish neighbors.
No. Well, no. It was the episode where they go around getting charity. Pennies, and they're collecting pennies from everybody, because she's like, do you want to take my sweet jugs, because she's got jugs of pennies.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous. She flashes the camera, flashes the audience, and then she gets slapped with a permanent ban from the league, which I guess is Kingpin Boxing, which both Josh and I agree in saying that is over the top. Definitely deserves, a suspension of something, maybe pay a fine, go through the rigmarole, maybe suspend her for a year or something, something where it's something serious, like you're not supposed to do this, like kids are watching this, maybe somewhere, and you don't want to just fucking flash the crowd. There are other channels on TV where you can do that, and this is not one of them.
Well, so
or at least should not be doing it.
Well, let's define my official stance. My official stance is she should not have been banned for this. This is not a bannable offense. Like, this is like Mark, what's his name in the UFC when he took off his shorts and he was down to just his fucking jockstrap. And then Joe Rogan's like, wait, why did you, like, literally just standing there in a jockstrap, bare ass. Like, why did you take your pants off? And he's like, my balls was hot. Like,
right, exactly.
So, like, I think this is more on cue with that. And he received zero repercussion because it was a huge PR hit. But basically, I don't know if they have this in the rule book that they can't publicly expose themselves. I would actually, if I were her, I would get a lawyer and say, hey, show me the documents that I signed where it says that I'm not allowed to expose myself. Right. Because I'm exposing my safety in the ring. And, I signed all these waivers. So if I die, you're not legally responsible. But if I showed him titties, then you kick me out forever.
And I would say it also comes down to like where this is in Dublin in Ireland. So I think it would also come down to like where Kingpin is registered, like if they're if they're subject to the FCC laws or whatever. There's a whole bunch of other bullshit that could go in with that. Well, but I agree.
I completely understand that. So basically what I think is warranted here, especially considering like just the landscape of fighting and what people have done with it, like the DS brothers, Conor McGregor, that type of shit, like to where we've warped it into this fucking like WWF mentality where anything goes, and we need people to watch this shit, and we're going to talk shit instead of just being professionals and fighting. And so since we've morphed it into that weird landscape, so what I would suggest, and hopefully this is what they catch on doing, because since we talked about it, I actually looked it up. She came out and publicly said that she did not receive a lifetime ban. She spoke to someone, and she's instead of fighting in the finals, she has been encouraged to take a few weeks off and train, and then come back in the fall or the winter. So that's a step in the right direction. But look, if I run Kingpin Promotions,
Right.
Here's what you do. I can tell you right now, here's what you do. You publicly chastise the action. You say that
right.
That the promotion had no previous knowledge, no prior knowledge
Right.
of
It
what she
wasn't
was going to
condoned
do.
by Kingpin.
We do not condone it before, during, or after.
Right.
And she has been spoken to, and she has received a fine. And then what you do is you invite her into the office and say, "Do you prefer Dom Perignon or like listen?"
Yeah. And then you secretly distribute that footage everywhere.
You're the reason why two assholes on a podcast in the Southeast United States know what Kingpin boxing is.
Right, exactly.
Like, thank you very much, and thank you, Sweater Pup number 1. We're gonna name you Fido, and Sweater Pup number 2. We're gonna name you Shirley. And thank you, Fido and Shirley, for putting us on the map.
Right.
And yeah, no, we're probably going to fine you $5,000. Here's a check for 50. You know, here's a little walking around money. We'll see you in the fall.
Right, exactly.
And,
we'll see you in the fall for the championship.
We'll see you in the fall. By the way, if you guys need anything, here's my direct line. I know you've been dealing with the promoter. Here's my direct line. If you need anything, we're going to set you up. Your next fight, we're going to set you up with a complete fish. You're going to beat the fuck out of her. And if your tit slips out again, just make it look like an accident.
Right, exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you, I think. And
a lot of people think that's a misogynist type thing, but look,
it all comes down to dollars and cents. It all comes down to dollars and cents.
It's a misogynist sport. So shame on you if you're watching this shit, because if you're going to take that stance, don't watch this shit at all. So I never want to see you around this shit. I never want to hear you talk about this shit, because then you should try and shut the whole thing down. Because during, like, basically in any UFC fight, Pride fight, Bellator, whatever, any of the big promotions, like in between fights, in between rounds, you have like extremely attractive ladies, not guys, extremely attractive ladies walking around wearing dental floss. Where, like, literally, I mean, it's definitely skewed towards a certain demographic, but at the same time, just get the whole thing shut down. If you can't, shut the fuck up. Because look, she didn't hurt anybody. In fact, I'm pretty sure everybody in the audience is like, yeah. Right. She only offended people that want to be offended.
Right. And, I hear you on that.
I mean, I'm not going to go like too full rant on it. I just think that I'm glad to hear that, like, you know, apparently what I'm suggesting, some form of that has happened. Because if I was her, I mean, look, she's promoting her side job, which is a conflict of interest.
Right. Well, to clarify, she does have an OnlyFans. I don't think we said that yet, but she does have an OnlyFans, and that was
her primary source of income at the moment is OnlyFans. So
right.
Her main job is OnlyFans, which, legally speaking, I guarantee you that in some form or fashion, she signed something agreeing to no conflicts of interest, which she didn't specifically give her. I don't think so. At least her OnlyFans address, but the titties she may have them tattooed on there somewhere. But you know, she's building her fan base elsewhere. So if you want to attack her on that. That's all I'm saying.
She like changes her name legally to like her OnlyFans handle, where it's like at Tata69 or something.
Which deep throat 6'9" titties.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
titties on TV. Tina or whatever.
Titties on tap, bitches.
Or,
titties
what's
on
her
tap.
name again? Daniela. Daniela's Dadas at OnlyFans.
I just know Fido and Shirley, like we were introduced yesterday.
Daniela's D's.
Daniela's D's.
So, but yeah. Anyway,
we got into the conversation. So, you know, you brought up, or actually, I think I brought up
Take your time.
the Super Bowl nip slip.
Oh yeah, that's right. The what's her face? The Jackson and Timberlake thing. Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Yeah,
from 2007.
And I told you that was a special time in my life.
Right.
But
It's a special time in all of our lives.
Listen, no, but you know, there are certain nights like when you're coming up and you're in high school and you're younger. There's certain nights that you never forget, right? So
Exactly.
it was just look. I'm not gonna get vulgar with it, but
but fuck you.
I look. It was a special night for a few reasons, okay? Because it was the Panthers' second appearance in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, no, it was the Panthers' first appearance in a Super Bowl, and that was the one where John Casey fucked us up and down. Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs! But that was the halftime show. It was Panthers Patriots. Fuck Tom Brady.
Right.
And
well, I don't agree with you on that, but that's okay.
Well, you can sit over there and listen.
The guy's a fucking freak of nature. He's like a testament to like human possibility.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. Keep going.
Okay. So anyway, now that Philbo's done. No, it was a crazy night because usually I remember I was 16 and usually I think every other Super Bowl from the time I was like 12, I was at friends' houses and it was Super Bowl parties and just big groups of people. But it was just me and my girlfriend at the time. We're not going to dox people, and this is not one. I don't even know if Thundercat.
Her name was Kevin.
Her name was Kevin, and but it was a weird scenario. It was like her parents were out at a Super Bowl party. It was me and her there,
right?
So this, halftime comes on. My cats are in the bowl, so I'm not gonna we're not gonna be fucking around or anything during the game. I mean, get fucked. Right. But no, it was one of those where it's halftime. Most people go munch on nachos, and most people make themselves a little plate of food, go outside, toss the ball. We decided to have a little fun, and I remember while that was going on, I looked up at the second that it happened. I wasn't at the time, dude. Fuck Janet Jackson. Fuck Timbo.
Right.
I don't.
Who cares about that? Right.
Like even at the time, fuck them. When's Metallica coming up?
Right.
But no, I remember I looked up it was right at the end of a song, and I looked up. There was no rhyme or reason to why I looked up. I just looked up right as he just this little Velcro patch of titty covering just pulled it down, and there she is in all of her Janet Jackson glory, just right there, letting it hang out.
Right.
And I just remember thinking this is the best night of my life. The Panthers are up by 6 at halftime.
This Tom Brady guy, yeah, he's got a ring, but he's not that great.
I got this other stuff going. After I get this done, I got a plate of nachos and some wings waiting on me. I got to see Janet Jackson's titty. The cats are gonna close this shit out. We're gonna party. I don't know. That was a special time in my life, but at the same time,
it was only overwritten by the night that you bought Rockstar at the Dollar Tree for $1.25 a can.
Well, that's a day that will live in infamy. Fuck Pearl Harbor.
Exactly.
Fuck Pearl Harbor. The day that I realized that I could buy a case of Rockstar Energy for $30. That is the day. And I'm sharing that information with everybody out there. So, by the way, I said the Pearl Harbor when we lost a viewer. So sorry, everybody. Pearl Harbor is a real thing.
Yeah, unlike the moon landing, it wasn't faked.
Unlike the moon landing, the Bay of Pigs, and the JFK assassination.
I'm gonna pull it in real fast. I just want to show this, and I'm sorry for the audio viewers. I'm just gonna show this real clip of this quick clip of a different angle. This fucking camera guy is doing his job to a fucking T. Just look at it. He looks so happy to be there too. He's just zooming in on the process. He doesn't look away. He doesn't try to censor the audience. This guy, it was funny to me because I saw a meme online of this guy's point of view, and I just thought it was hilarious. Of this guy just going, oh yeah, there they are, I got him. You might think that he would turn the camera away, but he's like, nah, this is a moment, and I'm capturing
his job.
It. Exactly.
So
he did a great job.
There's a better video, but it's an uncensored video where you actually see the ring announcer that he just announced that you won. And the best part is the other one, like, he's holding both their arms. The referee raises her arm, and then straight to the titties, and then like
straight to the titties,
and then the opponent that just lost is like reaching over to congratulate her as she's pulling them out.
Right.
But then you see the ring announcer behind, and you can see it in his eyes.
He goes like,
he knows they're about to pop. No, he goes literally. It's not like the. It's not like that. It was like he sees them about to. He knows, like, if you've ever seen, like, if you've ever been to spring break, you know when that's about to happen. But yeah, like they're
it's just a moment of calm that washes over you. The moment.
Yeah, you can just you can feel it. Just like this is what Phil Collins was talking about. Like you can just, there's a moment where you can feel it. And
oh god,
he knows the meats are coming out, and he looks, and then they pop, and then he visibly like grins like a mule eating briars through a fence.
Yeah,
and he's like looking, but then he realizes, he's like, I'm on camera, I'm the ring man, and then he looks away. But like just for that split second, he's like, yes,
he was a little kid in a candy store,
like,
man.
It's like when they first told me that women were in combat sports, this is the culmination.
This is what I signed up for.
We've been climbing the mountain for so long, and finally I can see through the clouds.
All right. And with that last fucking outro, with that being said, I take you all, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chop Shop. And I got that banging fucking music for it, too. Da 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 da. The Chop Shop!
Yeah!
So I'm actually going to give you a post-show chop, Josh, for getting a little too drunk on the podcast. There's a pocket. You got to stay in the pocket. You're sliding out of the pocket a little bit. It's not a lack of respect. It just doesn't ultimately make for the best podcast. But that's okay because it's still fucking fantastic, and you still did a great job. And I'm not calling you out. You're sitting there like,
fucking.
You got something in your eye.
In my eye.
It was just great time because you're sitting there like, what? No.
I'm crying. Please, no.
Which I just fucking.
I'm really not that drunk. Look, you have to please take into account the circumstances in which I'm casting, because I am in the garage and it is 98 degrees out here.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
It does something. I mean, granted, if you can't tell, I had a full glass of ice and a full fucking, and these things don't fuck around. I had a full one of these of ice and it melted like instantly. So I might be having another heat stroke. I don't know, but definitely.
You're actually dying right now, and your body's like releasing the dopamine slowly.
Yeah, seriously, like my kidneys are shutting down as we speak.
Right, exactly.
Like, I don't know if they can process alcohol at the same speed as at like a crisp 69 degrees.
It's so funny the contrast in which we do our shows. Like, I'm sitting in basically like the perfect climate controlled environment, and you're sitting in literally a sauna. That's how we do the show.
That's what I mean. I'm gonna have to do something. I might just like start making this shit mobile and just like put it in the living room.
Have you seen those? I've seen this ad on YouTube about the fan that you can buy that like instantly turns a roll. Like, it's basically like mobile air conditioning for like $30. And I thought it was just like some bullshit ad, but I've actually seen them at like Lowe's or something. So I don't know. I look, maybe do your own research, but there's this like little box fan that uses this like newish technology, or just newly marketed technology, that will like will cool the whole room in like 2 minutes. So it might be a good investment, and they're not expensive. So just a heads up. Hashtag not sponsored.
Well, I mean, they do make those little window unit things.
That's true, but you don't have a window.
I got a garage door.
I don't know if that'll work the same way. I think seriously, just look up what I'm telling you about. I think you'll find it's a cheap and effective solution.
Because this isn't a big space, and it's for the most part sealed.
It's not.
I mean, the garage door has a seal on it, so.
Well, that's the problem. It's sealed with no ventilation.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, what I've been doing, I mean, it's not as bad as it could be, because thankfully last week and this week, because it's gotten so bad, like the inside AC can't keep up. Like, it's so fucking hot here. Like, and
God,
I
dude,
guess
it's been the 90s the whole fucking week here, dude. It's
yeah,
for
and
like the whole month.
the humidity, like
Yeah.
literally every day, the heat index is like 98,
Yeah,
99.
exactly.
And
Fucking horse
it's
shit.
just, and we don't have a big house, but we do have the big vaulted ceilings and shit.
Yep.
And it's not like, that big house that we had down in Savannah that had 2 giant train units that ran like a floor each. And this one, here we have like one half the size of one of those.
Right.
And for about 16 hours a day, it'll keep it where you want it. But then when it really gets going outside,
Yeah.
it's too much. Like, you can't keep it under like 75 degrees.
It quickly becomes a little air conditioning unit that couldn't.
Right. And but I've gotten lucky the past, like, this week and last week, because it's been like overcast, it's not too hot.
Right.
And what I do is I come out here, I have my fan on, which is blowing ashes in my eye now, apparently. But
or whatever makes you feel better. I know you were crying. It's fine.
Listen, I've been shot by you before. None of them have stood. I don't think I've ever had a successful
That's not true.
chop against me.
No, there's definitely been a few that have stood.
Well,
just because I'll let you explain this one away. That's fine, and I usually do. But there's definitely been like a solid like 5 or 6 that I did not let you slide on.
Well, that's true. But now I will tell you the truth about today. I'm really not that drunk.
I believe you,
and I'm not,
because I've seen you drunk, so I believe you.
I know, but like, I've had this and like 2 shots of gin, so you know what I'm capable of. And
yeah. You're literally like a fucking well that we dig in the ground.
That's what I'm saying. We're not even like, we haven't even scratched off the first number on the scratcher ticket. But I think there once we hit like the hour mark, I think I had a heat stroke, because I literally I was sitting and I was trying. I don't know if you noticed, but I was trying to like lean towards the fan.
Right.
It's like I got this like weird tingly feeling in my head, and I was like, oh shit, this isn't good. Like,
oh god.
But I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm either gonna have to change venues, or I'm gonna have to figure something out here, because
I believe you, man. I believe it. We'll take a little bit of the budget away from the flamethrower, and we'll give you some money to get that fan going.
Which I was gonna say, look, if you haven't already purchased the groomsmen gifts, buy us each a flamethrower.
Well, it's definitely a little bit more each than what I was planning on spending. But
I'll put it in the wedding budget and make Annie's parents pay for it.
All right, now you're talking. And on that note, it's time. We got to go. Thanks for coming. Thanks for dicking around with us today. Come dick around with us next week. Come dick around with us on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. Basically, wherever the fuck you want to come and just hang out for a bit, that's where we'll be. We are here every Saturday live at 5 p.m. Eastern on Twitch. Come hang out.
Movie night.
Subscribe. Movie night. We're doing movie night. Okay, so thank you. Almost forgot.
Movie night.
We're doing movie night. It'll be Thursday the 27th. July 27th. Here's your announcement. We're going to watch The Room, which is the pinnacle of shitty movies, and we're going to have a blast. I'm going to get a Tommy Wiseau wig. Like, I'll just have like long black hair. You could dress up as Lisa. We'll give Monica a red dress, or get a red dress from Monica, and we'll from Thundercat. We'll tear it up.
I will be Lisa. Don't worry about it. I'll get a Goodwill. I'll go.
Or you could be Mark. And we need a football for sure. We need a football.
Oh, we need a football. Yes.
We're basically gonna like Rocky Horror Picture Show like, The Room.
Literally every 10 minutes you have to be like, "Oh, you look so sexy, Lisa."
But we have to have 17 sex scenes during the movie.
Yes, we'll have our own sex
scenes. We'll have to make out with the camera.
Dude, when I told you I found like a clean version of it for free, like that, I watched the first like 5 minutes of it where he gives her the dress and then she comes down. And it's just like the most awkward thing. Like, she's not even like to where he can see her on the stairs, and he's like, "You look so sexy, Lisa."
I know, right? Like, she's not even downstairs yet. Like, literally, her foot pops out. He's like, "Yeah, oh, so sexy."
Oh, so sexy, Lisa.
All right, everybody. So we'll see you then too.
Movie night on Thursday.
Catch us on Twitch for that, and we will see you later. Peace out. Peace and love. Love you guys. Thank you. We Speak Now. You take care too, buddy. Peace.